long term, with the moves the Big 12 made yesterday, after you guys do have a new TV contract in place as a league, what do you think that will do to change the athletic department's bottom line? How much more money, less money?
Yeah, that's hard to tell right now. There was a lot of stuff out there early on when Oklahoma and Texas left, and it was just going to be the 8 of us. There were some big numbers thrown around. I don't think that's going to be the case once we bring in these 4. Just the landscape of TV is going to change so much over the next 3 to 4 years. I'm assuming we can stay pretty close to where we are with these 4, but it's really, really hard to guess that. There's some things out there. There's been some estimates and some articles that I've read that, I don't know where they're getting those numbers, because they're probably not talking to ESPN or Fox, but, it just depends on who's in the market when we go to market.
Yesterday, Travis Goff at Kansas said it would not stop him from having other conversations with leagues at this point. What kind of a sense do you get for where everybody else is at in the league?
I was a little surprised at that. I thought when we walked out of there last week that we were all pretty, ready to go, and we felt pretty comfortable with the 4 and felt pretty committed. So certainly that's the first I've heard of that. I don't think any other ADs are having that conversation that I'm aware of. So that surprised me a little bit. Yeah.
How good or competitive do you think the Big 12 will be in the future with these 4 new teams?
I think it'll be very competitive. We'll see. Look at them right now in terms of the football program, but you also look at the basketball programs. I think it's going to be I won't say it's going to be any more competitive, but it's certainly going to be as competitive as it was.
You guys talked at all about how divisions, pods, anything might like
No,
that?
we have not done that yet. I'm assuming that'll come in the next few weeks or months. We never really even talked about that when we met last week. It was just we looked at a bunch of schools. We never made a formal recommendation. These were the 4 that we kind of ended on, and Bob took it from there with the president. But we never went any further. Financially, we didn't talk about anything financially. We didn't talk about divisions or anything. That'll come. Now that they've all accepted and their boards have approved, we'll probably start having those conversations.
Do you anticipate things will settle down now for a little bit before you look into any other expansion as a league?
I that's my opinion. I know there's been a couple of things out there that people said we may not be done yet, but I think we just got to kind of figure out what's next and what the timing of everything is. When are they coming in? Are Oklahoma and Texas going to stay through, which that's the impression they still have. But once you get into the details, you start negotiating things, you never know. But I think until we get that all figured out, I don't know that we'll have any more conversations in the near future about any additional schools.
What would you say was the main thing you guys as a league look for in expansion candidates? So is it value, football, basketball, something else?
It was kind of a little bit of everything. Certainly success of the programs. We looked at the market, obviously. We looked at a lot of data in terms of eyeballs on their programs and where they compare to other schools that might be out there, where they compare to us, the 8, and then where they compare to some of the other conferences. And for the most part, we're pretty good. Obviously, BYU brings a little different group, just because they're kind of more national. But we looked at a lot of things, and at the end of the day, these 4 kind of rose to the top in most of those categories.
Were Texas and Oklahoma, did they have a vote in the expansion process here?
Yes, they did. I don't know if they voted yes, no, or abstain, but they did have a vote, and they were on the call. So I don't know what the outcome of that vote was.
I think some people maybe were surprised that you expanded with such speed. Why was it such an easy process?
Well, I think I will tell you that the minute that Oklahoma and Texas announced, our phones rang as ADs from other ADs in those 4 schools and amongst other schools as well. So we knew there was a high interest. We had certain things from the conference perspective we had to follow in terms of policy and procedure without, getting ourselves in trouble or contract. And then, once they made contact directly with the office, then Bob went pretty quickly. He'd been having a lot of, back conversations about the potential schools, but never contacting them. And then once we got formal application, we knew it was going to go pretty quick because the presidents and the ADs were pretty honed in on these 4.
This might be kind of a dumb question, but I guess from your understanding, when you have 14 teams in the league, is it going to be everybody splits the pie then 14 ways? How will some of that break down?
That's what we don't know yet. We didn't talk at all about financially who's going to take what and how much, and I don't know any of that right now. Bob pretty much said, let's not go there. Let's figure out. Let's get these teams in, and then we'll take that down the road. So I'm assuming those conversations that happen with those 4 schools, Otherwise, signing on the dotted line, they had to know what they're. But I've not seen those numbers or what they are.
Is there any chance Bob Bowlesby said BYU definitely in 2023, kind of a loose timeline of the other three. Is there any chance those three come in earlier than BYU?
Well, I don't know. Again, it's going to be a negotiated thing because they have the 27-month notification, and if they go sooner, it's going to cost them more money. So I saw Oresco made a comment about, well, maybe we can, it's going to be difficult. Maybe there's a way we can let them out early, but it's going to be a negotiated number. So all those things happen at above my pay grade. So.
Okay.